Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you up to date on what's going on. And happy Monday! What a nice little weekend we had. Like, we were dipping, we were scared, we were wondering if Bitcoin can hold that 50-week moving average, but we had a nice little spike up. Bitcoin touched $106,000 over the weekend. This is the 24-hour chart. But yeah, over the last year, though, let's see, we're about 50 weeks, about the full year. It's January, there's a year mark. Like, we were coming close. Like, we were getting there to that 50-week level. So luckily, we didn't go beneath it. We're moving up. And why is that? I don't know. People, it could be because of the government shutdown, maybe almost over, which is calling institutions to buy back up ETFs. We got that article coming out. And then there's also talk about Trump coming out with another stimulus check, but more like a tariffs dividend check. But hey, if you guys took your $1,200 you got 4 years ago and put it in Bitcoin, you'd be up at $18,000 now. So I don't know, if we do get one of these, who knows? Maybe I'll have like a little separate portfolio and have 3 portfolios out there. One just in Bitcoin, one in Tesla stocks, that's what my buddy's in, and the other in the S&P 500, and that way we can compare about it over the years. I will plan on never touching it, so if it's 2,000, I gotta play with 6, but I'll have that at the side, so that way we just follow it, track it, and just go like, what if I did put my money in that? And it will show that putting your money in Bitcoin definitely works in the long run. So I'll probably get that going, but let's get through the news. What is happening today in the crypto space? Well, it looks like starting today, over 4 million Square merchants can now accept Bitcoin at the checkout starting today. So this is bullish news. Let's play Square's little commercial they've made for us.
Bitcoin can help diversify how you spend, save, and invest in your business, especially when every swipe of a credit card eats away at your bottom line. Let's say you run a local grocery chain. Most purchases are small, like a bag of produce or a gallon of milk. So credit card fees start to add up fast. With Square, you can now accept Bitcoin with 0 payment processing fees, no chargebacks, and your instant access to funds. And you choose how money settles into your account, whether in USD or Bitcoin, instantly and right from your Square dashboard. Whether you're aiming for short-term goals or planning for the long haul, you can automatically convert a percentage of your daily card sales into Bitcoin. No extra steps, no added complexity. It's a smart, seamless way to build savings in the background, all while keeping your day-to-day cash flow predictable. And when tax time comes, you'll get the paperwork you need right where you find your reports and bank statements. Bitcoin is just another way for you to take control of how your business makes and spends money. Enable Bitcoin payments and conversions in your Square dashboard. Head to squareup.com/Bitcoin to learn more.
So that's pretty cool. So it's going to make businesses now who already use Square as their payment processing service so much easier to start accepting Bitcoin. And that's what you got to do. That's what all businesses have to do. They got to start their own strategic reserve somehow. If they follow how Stake and Shake is doing it, like we found out last week, that every time you make a purchase with them using Bitcoin, that's going straight to the reserve. And I was calling this many times ago. Bitcoin's a scarce asset. There's only 21 million. We already got the institutions gobbling up. There's still talks about the strategic reserve whenever that takes place. But Bitcoin's going to get so scarce so fast where unless you're mining it and buying it is just going at those pricing, the only way to accept it will be literally accepting it as a service in your business. And that's what Stake and Shake's doing right now. And that is very smart. I knew that everyone's going to start doing it, but this just makes it easier now for even more merchants to start accepting Bitcoin just for their business. As you saw in that commercial, very simple. You're already using their system. You're getting reports for tax and everything. You can choose how much you want to accept in either Bitcoin or USDT, so you can accept it. So this is really cool. So way to go, Square, for finally launching this and making this available for all merchants out there. But also, Jack Dorsey and Square teased launching an app map showing where you can spend Bitcoin at local merchants. So adoption is accelerating because of this now. They even know it's okay, who's using our system and accepting it, and we will get a map showcasing oh, let's go over here. I can spend my Bitcoin on that. So that's actually pretty cool because there's always so many people. We always say never spend your Bitcoin, but there is a point where you want to take some profits or utilize it instead of just holding it. And now it's just getting easier and easier to spend it as an actual currency. So this is awesome. So way to go, Square. Now, what else is going on in the Twitter space news? Well, it looks like Strategy buys another 487 Bitcoin for 49.9 million. So nothing's stopping that man. And who else is buying? Because we always hear him all the time. Let's see. Justin Vivek Ramaswamy Strive buys 1,567 Bitcoin worth 162 million. So again, big players are still buying up the crypto. And let's see. Japan is now mining Bitcoin with state-backed funds. So overseas, like we have countries using state-backed funds to mine Bitcoin. And what was I just saying? It's like there's only three ways to really accept Bitcoin. Either you buy it yourself, you mine it, or you accept it for a service and payments for your business. So Japan is getting on that next level of, okay, we got to start acquiring more Bitcoin, because if you look at the chart right here for the governments that own Bitcoin, they need to catch up on the top 10 list, right, or the top 9 list. So mining Bitcoin, that's a great way to get cheap and clean Bitcoin. Now here's, again, the chart of what the governments hold Bitcoin holdings wise for what we know. This is from CoinGecko, but United States holds 325,000 Bitcoin right now. China, 190. United Kingdom, 61,000. North Korea has 14,000. Bhutan, yes, that little country, holds 11,000 Bitcoin, holding their number 5 position in ranks of governments. You got the United Arabs with 6.3, El Salvador with 6.3, Venezuela has 240, and Finland 90. So again, these numbers are going to get crazy over the years, and, and then we're going to really know like how scarce Bitcoin is, because it's like, if these countries have it and there's only 21 million, well, that just means there's this much in circulation. So start stacking some Bitcoin now if you have not started. But let's go through the news now. Let's go through these articles about, like, is the government shutting down? Are we getting a stimulus check? And also an overhaul of hedge funds still like placing bets on crypto. So let's dive into the news right now and learn about what's going on. So, into U.S. government shutdown sparks institutional buying and ETF floodgate hopes. So, the potential end of the 40-day U.S. government shutdown is decreasing financial uncertainty among investors, leading to growing institutional crypto accumulation. Oh, and also before I continue on with this article, let me make sure we are clear and good to go. I always hate it. Like the Bitcoin bench show this morning had a little bit blurriness, so let's just make sure. Let's see. Oh, looks good on my end for Twitter. So sweet. All right, let's go continue with this article so you guys can read with me. So here we go. So institutional demand for digital assets saw a significant uptick as investors digested news about the U.S. Senate reaching a much-awaited deal that could soon end the 40-day government shutdown. So on Sunday, the U.S. Senate advanced a procedural vote to end the government shutdown, with the final post-cloture vote expected to occur on Monday, according to the Senate schedule. Okay, so we're still waiting on this. Like, as I was showing you the day chart for the 24 hours, like they placed this vote last night. And so that was around, let's see, that's 1:40, 2 o'clock. So when we get to the evening, boom, right here. So this vote right here definitely will fall in line with the government vote on ending that shutdown. So on Sunday, so cryptocurrency markets though saw a rebound after that report. The StarkNet token rose over 43% as the day's biggest winner, followed by the Trump-backed Liberty Financial token, up 28% over the past 24 hours, according to CoinMarketCap data. Now, the nearing end of the government shutdown may reduce the financial uncertainty among global investors and fuel a crypto market recovery. Nikolai Sondergaard, research analyst at crypto intelligence platform Nansen, told Cointelegraph. He said that for weeks, markets were effectively operating in the dark. Key economic data releases, policy updates, and regulatory processes were all frozen during the shutdown. Now, once the government's operation resumes, investors can price in real fundamentals rather than just speculation. So as key federal agencies-backed releases were canceled due to the shutdown, added Sondergaard, and what was this? This is a token chart. But institutions are restarting their Ether accumulation, fueled by the perspective of the U.S. government shutdown end. So this is bullish news for, I guess, all cryptos, because when we saw Bitcoin's price, all the other coins started going with it. But following the news of potential's end of the 40-day government shutdown, institutional investors have restarted their Ether accumulation based on a growing average spot order data. So Ethereum may be entering a period of low volatility accumulation. Now, if Ethereum's price manages to remain afloat above $3,000 to $3,400 range, according to Crypto Tonnage platform, then it could be good. Where are we at right now with Ethereum? Ethereum's currently at $3,500, so all right, looking pretty decent. But however, the broader market recovery will ultimately depend on the incoming Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF inflows, which will ultimately determine whether this recovery will still see sustained institutional demand rather than just retail or short-term flows, according to Nomura Group Laser Digital Derivatives Trading Desk in a report shared with Cointelegraph. Now, the looming end of the government shutdown raises hopes of altcoin ETFs floodgates. Now, in the wider crypto space, ETF analyst Nate Garachi saw the end of the shutdown as a positive development that will open up the ETF floodgates. And that's what we always knew, because they had like at least 16 ETFs that were like ready to go through approvals like at the beginning of the month. But because of the shutdown, it literally halted all of those. So the XRP ETF, the Litecoin ETF, a couple other Bitcoin, and other altcoin ETFs, it's like it got shut down. So because of the government shutting down, hopefully ending, there's a lot of speculative hope that the floodgates will just open up and start going into the crypto space again. But in the wider crypto space, ETF analysis Nate Garachi saw that the end of the shutdown is a positive development that will open the ETF floodgates. Now, government shutdown ending equals spot crypto ETF floodgate opening, wrote Garachi in a Monday X post, adding that this may also introduce the first spot XRP ETF under the Securities Act of 1933. Now, this would make the 21 shares fund the first XRP exchange-traded product and fourth altcoin ETP launched under the Act of 1933. Now, the spot Bitcoin and Ether ETF were also approved under the same framework, but listed under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, which requires exchange oversight. Now, at least 16 crypto ETF applications are currently awaiting approval, delayed by the US government shutdown, now in its 40th day. So it's been 40 days we've been shut down. When's it going to end? Well, there's still no speculative date yet going on it, but what did they vote on again? It's a demand for digital on Sunday, US procedural votes that end government shutdown, with the final post-cloture vote expected to occur Monday. So hopefully today we'll be getting some more news on, like, is the shutdown over? Is it not? Are we going to see a little bit longer? If it does go longer, expect the price to dip, because again, everyone's speculating on like shutdown's over, ETFs can now be approved, and then money comes in. So whatever we hear today will definitely determine the price of Bitcoin and all cryptos, because when Bitcoin goes up, all the other cryptos go up as well, like significantly, as we see here with the bubbles. So yeah, World Liberty Finance had a 25%, Starkin at 22%, and even Trump's World Liberty had a 13% dip. So yeah, again, everything follows Bitcoin in this thing. So we got to see if the shutdown ends. This is bullish news, and I am stoked on it. And if not, prepare for some more red and great buying opportunities when we are in the red. But let's continue on with the news. What else is happening in the crypto space? Again, I was talking about the Trump tariff dividend, which could bump Bitcoin's price. So yeah, are we going to get another stimulus? Well, I can't really call it a stimulus tax. This is a tariff dividend. So I was talking to my buddy about that this morning, because he's waiting for price to go red before he starts buying some more Tesla stock. He's a stock guy. He doesn't want to deal with crypto. I got him into it 4 years when I did, and he did not like it. So that's the thing you got to deal with when you try to get friends and family in crypto. Like when you're in it, usually it's pumping, it's good, but then they get in for the wrong reason. They just want to make money. So when prices dip, they got no fundamentals behind it going, oh, what is this Bitcoin? How's it changing the road? They don't got that in them. So he is done with crypto, but he's sticking with the stock market, and definitely less playing with Tesla and the S&P 500. I think the VOO trading stock out there. But no, so for me though, if we do get this 2,000 stimulus check, I'm putting it into Bitcoin. But again, I said at the beginning, I probably have a fun portfolio going to kind of match like what he has, and then probably what the other rest of the world does. So let's talk about this. So let's see, are we going to get one or not? So Trump promises a tariff dividend of at least $2,000 to every American. So President Donald Trump promises to offer a tariff dividend of at least $2,000 to every American. Now, this could be good for Bitcoin, as per two popular crypto analysis. Now, Lark Davis, a popular crypto investor and analyst, that said that the decision to give a $2,000 stimulus check could lead to a brief Bitcoin rally. So yeah, a brief one, guys. Not a long-term one, but a brief one. He compared the latest stimulus to the ones issued under the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act in 2020 during the pandemic. Now, at the point of the time, Donald Trump's administration had issued $1,200 stimmy checks to Americans, and what followed was a 50% rally for Bitcoin within 5 weeks and a 900% rally within a year, he reminded his followers. Now, though Davis doesn't expect such a skyrocketing rally for Bitcoin this time too, he warned one shouldn't ignore the latest stimmy checks. However, traders shouldn't forget that the 2020-21 Bitcoin rally was followed by a massive crash or correction in 2022, 2023, but we really know how that all happened. We had FTX's fall. We had lending platforms just go under. It was Three Arrows, Silvergate, and Celsius. It was a domino effect going down from 2022 to 2023. So that's what happened last time, but this time, I don't know. Can we see some of those lending things go down? There's not that much more out there. We still have Salt. We still have, I think, Square's doing it now too. So, and when it comes to Bitcoin lending, yeah, it is kind of risky to do because again, you're hoping that price goes up because if price goes down for Bitcoin, you borrowed against Bitcoin, and then you got to add more to it if price goes down. But if it goes up, that's a positive note for your loan because then that goes down. But how do I even get listed on that or talk about that? Oh, yeah, because I was talking about the dip because of this date right here. Don't forget, traders, about the crypto crash we had. But again, that was following crypto cycles going on. But I really don't know what could happen right now to cause a massive black swan event. But we'll have to wait and see. But again, yeah, so if Trump gives you a 2,000 check, are you going to put it in Bitcoin? Let me know. But just always remember that your COVID stimulus check would have been worth 1,700% more if you bought Bitcoin. Now, I believe I did cover this article at one point, probably last month when it came out, but it just goes so well with this. And it's let's not forget, so what could happen if you save your Bitcoin of the stimulus check if you don't need it? Well, if you invested your stimulus money into Bitcoin and held on without selling, you now be sitting on a sum worth roughly $21,617. I think, yeah, this article was written a month ago, so I think right now it'd be worth $18,000. But it's been over 5 years since the U.S. government issued its first $1,200 COVID-19 stimulus check for many Americans. The money was used for bills, groceries, and other necessities. But if you're invested those funds into Bitcoin and held on without selling, you now be sitting on a sum worth $21,617 today. But again, I think it's more $18,000 right now at today's prices. But this figure is based on the initial handout provided under the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. And had you invested your $1,200 on April 15th, 2020, when Bitcoin was trading around $6,000, oh man, those are some good times, you would have acquired 0.18 Bitcoin. Now today, with Bitcoin's price surpassing 120, right now we're at 105,000, this would have grown exponentially for you. So again, fun fact, if you held $1,200, it'd be worth $21,000 on the 1st of October. Now, the story gets even more interesting when factoring in subsequently stimulus payments. Some Americans received 2 additional checks, a $600 one in 2021 and a $1,400 one in March of 2021. Now, if someone had invested all 3 payments for a total of $3,200 near the days they arrived, the Bitcoin holdings today easily surpasses $50,000, depending on the time Bitcoin's price movements. Regardless of what you bought, those who held through the market volatility, including multiple price dips and spikes, have been handsomely rewarded. Now, Bitcoin still to 150,000. We still have institutional big players still calling for this. Even I think JP Morgan calling for 170,000 by the end of the year. So we just gotta wait and see on that pricing. October was red. We didn't get October as we wanted, but again, some people think maybe this momentum will flow into November, and we'll just have to see. But yeah, guys, if you get some Bitcoin a stimulus check, again, I'm just gonna say is and you do not need that money, try to just put it away into Bitcoin and just forget about it. Don't leave it on the exchange though. Put it in your own self-custody wallet. Just put that away, and then who knows? 4 or 5 years, something major happens. It's you get you're planning on buying a house, you're getting married, you're about to have a kid. Whatever could happen. 4 or 5 years from now, that $2,000 could potentially be another $50,000 increase. So 50, let's say 30,000. It could be another 30,000. That's a whole lot of money that could just come out of nowhere if you forgot about it. So this is a great learning experience for somebody brand new in crypto. You don't have a lot, but you want to start that savings. If we do get one of these stimulus checks for 2,000, I highly urge you to put it into Bitcoin. And if you guys need help, join the crypto club. That's what we're here for. We have 5 locations, more opening up, but we're here to help you buy, sell, move, trade, do it all safely, and it's in your custody. So that way that way you're in full control of your finances. So if you need help, join the club. Now let's continue on with the news. What else is happening in the crypto space? Let's see. Close that pop out. Looks like over half, let me refresh this page, but over half of the hedge funds out there now invest in crypto assets. So again, big players are still involved in crypto. So a new global survey shows that 55% of hedge funds now hold crypto, with more planning to increase. Now, more than half of the global, let's increase that, there we go. More than half of the global hedge funds now hold crypto-related assets, marking a pivotal shift as digital assets move from the fringes to the mainstream of institutional investing. Now, according to a new report by the Alternative Investment Management Association and the PwC, in 2025 alone, 55% of the hedge funds have now exposure to crypto, up from 47% the previous year, with most maintaining modest allocations of less than 2% of their assets under management. Now, notably, 71% of these funds plan to increase their exposure in the coming years, as reported by the AIMA and PwC. Now, the surge in interest is closely linked to a more constructive global regulatory environment, particularly in the United States. Now, the report highlights that the evolving U.S. policy has encouraged nearly half of the institutional investors to increase their digital asset allocations, while 57% of the hedge funds already invested in crypto cites greater willingness to invest as a direct result of the regulatory development. Now, improved access to banking services and expanding U.S. operations are also noted as positive outcomes of the changing landscape. Now, crypto derivatives have become the preferred vehicle for many hedge funds, with 67% investing through these instruments to gain exposure without holding the underlying asset. However, the report cautions that such strategies can introduce market risks, referencing a flash crash in October that exposed vulnerabilities tied to the excessive leverage and insufficient institutional-grade infrastructure. Now, tokenization is another trend gaining momentum, with over half of the hedge funds expressing interest in regulated tokenized products for liquidity management and collateral purposes. Now, the strongest enthusiasm for tokenization is found among smaller managers and those employing macro strategies, particularly in Asia and the Middle East right now. Now, family offices and high net worth individuals remain the primary investor base for crypto hedge funds right now through participation from funds or funds in rising. Now, despite the rapid adoption, the report notes that regulatory and tax uncertainty, as well as restrictive investment mandates, continue to deter half of the traditional hedge funds from entering the crypto space. Meanwhile, the hedge fund industry itself is experiencing unprecedented growth. So according to the hedge fund research HFR, global assets under management reached a record US $5 trillion in the third quarter of 2025, fueled by both new capital inflows and strong investment returns. Now, equity focus on macro hedge funds have been key beneficiaries, with former seeing assets swelling by the US $96.7 billion in the quarter. And as institutional confidence, regulatory clarity, and market infrastructure continue to evolve, the integration of digital assets into hedge fund portfolios appears set to accelerate, reshaping the landscape for wealth professionals and their clients. So a lot of the hedge funds here are making a lot of change here in America because we are getting some more friendly policies going on. We've been making these changes the last year, 2 years now going through. So again, it's making hedge funds institutions a little bit easier to and clearer paths to start acquiring this asset, because at first there was no rules. So it's like, should I get this? Like, I'm hearing stories out there, government's going after me because this person started buying crypto. But now that there's actually clarity going on, like, we're seeing increases in this all over. And again, depending on the country or where you're at around the world, like, as they increase their crypto and Bitcoin rolling out there, you're going to see this number increase even more. And these guys are calling, as we get a little bit more clear, we're expecting an accelerated rush coming in. So this is still, again, bullish news for the future right now. Again, I don't know when a black swan event can take the price down for Bitcoin, but we'll see. And then also, lastly in the news, guys, looks like just a quick little tidbit to be safe out there from scammers, because Florida residents report $33 million in losses from crypto ATM scams since 2020. So it's been going on for 5 years, but crypto ATM scams are going to continuously keep coming. I see people come in all the time. They want to use the ATM. All I can do really is just say, do you know who this person is? There's a lot of scammers out there. But then again, some of these people, they've been talking to these online people for so long. It's like, oh yeah, they maybe met them only one time. We're good friends, but then they just have the other person's QR code to send money to. It's like, you don't really know where this is going or who this person is. So, but again, guys, if someone's telling you to send crypto through an ATM, just automatically assume it's a scam right there. But let's hear a little bit. Hear a little about this really quick, short news article. But Florida residents have lost $33 million in crypto ATM scams since 2020, and these account for around 1,740 victims of impersonation scams, where scammers pretend to be with the government agency and demand the victims deposit money into the ATM, according to a report. Now, those crypto ATMs are used for only two things, and that is for drug dealers to hide their money from law enforcement and for people to get scammed and send their money to people who are stealing from them. David Dietz, detective with Fort Myers Police Department, said in a report by Gulf Shore Business. Now, in some cases, scammers will tell victims to take the receipt to the clerk of a court or a police station afterwards. Currently, Florida has been unable to pass laws to regulate crypto ATMs, such as registering with the Office of Financial Regulation and posting warnings. And most ATMs do post warnings, like our Byte Federal machine we have out in the front. Like again, it's like you still need to do a KYC now. It feels like the day of like the know your customer, like not having to do that where you provide a license, social or whatever. It feels like that time has passed. Now it feels like if you use a crypto ATM, they will be asking for that. They're asking for your information. And then they give you a bunch of warnings on there. It's like, this is crypto, only send to yourself. If someone telling you to use this ATM, so they put warnings on there, but the victims still just do it anyways. So I don't know how much more regulation you can put on that or how else you can prevent it. But just, guys, the only thing you can do, like us as individuals, is share this knowledge with people. If they say they're buying crypto, like try to figure out how they're doing it and what it's for too. Also, like, well, we got to let them know just to be aware of how these scams are being played out. Because honestly, if the government's telling you put money in an ATM, then take this to the courthouse and we'll reimburse you, or I don't know what that is. It's like, no, this just shows people are uneducated on the crypto space. If you take that receipt over there, all it shows is you bought Bitcoin and send it to this address. Whose address is it? It's not your address. It was the scammer or the person on the other end. So guys, like, be very careful on there. Join our class. Here we go. Join our club out there. We have classes all the time about scammers. Follow my channel. Subscribe to this, because at least every day, like, I try to at least post some type of scam that goes on, just to keep it in the visualization of you guys. Like, sure, there's a lot of bullish news in crypto and everything, but scams do take place every single day, and I will report on them just so you are aware how they work, what they look like. So that way, if any like email, phone call, anybody tries to get a hold of you, you have like a little tips or red flags coming up on you saying, oh, this doesn't seem legit. Nope, let me just block that person. So everyone stay safe in the crypto space, because again, it's still the Wild West. We're still getting rules and everything. It's peer-to-peer. So whatever happens, it's on you. There's no more middleman to it. So just, again, be safe, people. But that is it for the news, guys. Looks like our fear and greed index today is at a 29, so we're still in fear territory, but that moved up a little bit since last Friday. So we're probably going to be inching more towards the green. Again, just as long as we end this government shutdown, because if not, expect people to be fearful and prices to go down. But that's what we're going to be paying attention to, guys. I hope everyone has an awesome week. It's Monday. Go get at it. Go to the gym. Go to the beach. Just get outside and stay active, because again, we got to work on our health. I hit the gym last night, felt amazing, want to go again. So I start making those short videos again for you guys. A little motivation just to get you out there, because the Bitcoin went to $1 million and we're all super wealthy. What's the point if our body's not healthy at all? Like, how can we enjoy it? So stay fit, get exercise, stay healthy, eat right. And everyone, I will see you again tomorrow with more crypto news. Peace.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.